fluff writing advice. Cut the fluff!
Dialogue is the butter on the bread of any good story. Or is it the salami? Maybe it's some mustard. Either way, the better it is, the tastier your story sandwich will be. Great, I've started off this video about writing good dialogue with some questionable dialogue. Can only get better from here. Firstly, when writing dialogue, don't try to be realistic, as in don't write how people actually speak. I've worked with a lot of transcripts when ghostwriting non-fiction books, and the way people speak doesn't, it doesn't really sort of translate to the page, if that makes sense. If your goal is to frustrate your readers, then by all means write exactly how people speak in real life. I'm not saying you can't borrow some elements of realism, but they shouldn't derail the reading experience. With all that said, dialogue should still sound natural when it's meant to. People having robotic conversations when they aren't actual robots isn't fun to read. Also, all conversations within a story should serve a purpose. Character development, establishing character relationships, providing vital information, moving the plot forward. All great reasons to have your characters utter words. No matter how witty the dialogue, if a conversation doesn't have a point to it, it probably shouldn't exist on the page. Ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve with this conversation? Importantly, what are the characters trying to achieve? Each line of dialogue should be meaningful in its own way, just as every other sentence should be. Inadvertent rambling is as boring on the page as it is in real conversation. We've all been there. Dialogue should also have character, as in the speaker's character should come across in the words they say and how they say them. Ideally, who's actually speaking should be evident from what's being said before the reader even gets to the dialogue tag. Ensure that each character has a unique voice, and that voice is evident in their dialogue. Remember, not every character will be quick and witty. Some characters won't have anything witty to say at all, just like some people. I know it. Most of the time I feel slow and whatever the opposite of witty is. Also, characters' moods will change based on the situation, which should be evident in the words they speak. When the tone and intent are clear in the dialogue itself, you can avoid using unnecessary adverbs in dialogue tags. For example, "Should we have that reattached?" she asked solicitously. Come on, how clunky was that? I could barely say the word. Also, don't forget to add action among your dialogue when appropriate. Most people don't just stand, stare, and speak. Adding action can help ground readers in the scene so they remember where they are, and they aren't just being monologued or duologued at. Let's talk dialogue tags. They shouldn't be distracting. Sure, you can vary them for flavour, but don't get too crazy with it. Your characters probably shouldn't be ejaculating words. Maybe save that one for when it's really needed. Look, as long as you're writing smooth and natural sounding dialogue with purpose and character, you really can't go wrong, he ejaculated solicitously.